Hi everyone, it's Tuesday, and I'm going to pre-record my Who Would Win this week, as the beginning of this week, or tomorrow is the beginning of February, so it will be the Bleach Who Would Win. This week's Who Would Win is Komamura, Saijin Komamura's Squad 7, the original, well not the original, but the former squad, the main Squad 7 captain we had, versus Shishimaru from Inuyasha. I figured Dog Demon versus Dog Shinigami be a decent comparable fight. They're both supernatural, so it works out. But we're not talking about that right now. What we're talking about is you know what we're talking about. We're talking about Ben Affleck leaving as director of Batman. Now, I'm not gonna go on a huge tirade. You want to see someone go on a tirade? Watch this week's movie talk. Today's movie talk with Campia. Campia went on a huge tirade. But for the longest time, Ben Affleck has been saying he's probably or is going to direct the Batman movie. And for all of us DC fans, DCU fans, that's been something we've really been looking forward to. That's been a big on the nose buttons, because a lot of people didn't like BVS. Some people did. I did, and I like Suicide Squad, but they're divisive films, and we haven't in this new universe yet. And I like Man of Steel too, but again, split. More people like it than hate it. But we haven't yet had a really good film. And it's not that Zack Snyder's not a good director. He's just a very particular type of director. We need fresh blood. That's why David Ayer's Suicide Squad, I contend, is actually somewhat better than BVS because it has a more energetic liveliness to it for Suicide Squad. It has a different tone, despite being still a different feel. And then we have Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman, which looks great. Wonder Woman looks like it's going to be great. And we got Justice League coming this year as well. Can't wait for another full trailer for that. Sorry if you hear folks down there, my dad downstairs just asking my sister something. But we got that. So DC still has, and Aquaman's in production right now. So we got time to set the course right. But then DC comes out and says, you know what? We announced our slate, but we're gonna have to maybe change some things back. We're gonna go through 3 directors with the Flash. No, page 1 rewrite with the Flash. No, it's fine. We're gonna bump one of these movies, make a Gotham Sirens movie. We're going to we're gonna struggle. We're gonna keep switching things in and out without keeping our promises of what's coming out. And that's just been like huge red flags because DC can't seem to do what Marvel does with DC, and that they can't seem to can't seem to just stick to their vision of what they're doing. That's why Marvel eventually succeeded and has now become this huge mega movie corporate studio and mega and just a cinematic universe that most people seem to love, because despite the few mishaps they had along the way, Hulk was fine, but you could call that a mishap if you want. Iron Man 2 you could technically call a mishap. They still kept and they still made some. Hulk kind of broke even, but Iron Man 2 still made them money. So you have these movies that but they still you have these movies that were generally doing okay, but you had some hits and misses. But they were still staying the course with their plan, and eventually it came to fruition with the Avengers, and then Marvel Cinematic Universe just exploded after that. That's really just exploded. And now we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Who would have thought we would have had a sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy, let alone Guardians of the Galaxy itself? We got Thor Ragnarok. We got Spider-Man Homecoming coming out, which is Sony but Marvel aid. So we got a lot of stuff coming out. But DC, just besides Batman and the first few Superman movies, they've never seemed to really understood their properties for a cinematic universe. But and even the more DC fanboys are like, they've had some mishaps. Even some of the most diehard will admit they've had some mishaps, because even the most diehard will not defend Batman and Robin. If you like the movie, that's fine, but you don't like it for the reasons you like the characters is the problem. You like it probably because it can't be stupidness, and you enjoy that. If you enjoy it, fine. But the point is that we haven't had any real hope in this gray, cloudy mess, with the exception of that light that was Ben Affleck directing the Batman. And then we start hearing that they're not done with the script, even though they were done with the script. They want to make sure the script's the right place. Ben Affleck might not direct it. No, he then goes on Kimmel and says, no, I'm going to direct it. And now it's official. He's not directing it. So DC, or Warner Brothers, I just have a question. What the hell's going on over there? You, you Ben Affleck is one of your golden boys. Ben Affleck not only gets you critical plays, gets you Oscars, and makes you money. He is just overall now at this point well liked as an actor and a very accomplished director. What are you doing wrong? You did something. Ben Affleck released a statement too, and don't let that fool you. Saying no, it's talking about focusing between two is difficult. And again, can't to go back to what Campy said. Really, because you did it in Argo, and that won Best Picture. So how it's clear it's not Affleck's. Well, I mean, it's Affleck's probably Affleck's decision. Something what happened between him and Warner Brothers. Something where Warner Brothers is meddling in a way they shouldn't be meddling, because all studios meddle in a way that usually should benefit the film, but doesn't always. What happened between them? If I had to guess, Warner Brothers, and this is just me guessing, Warner Brothers wanted to take the movie in a somewhat different direction. And Ben Affleck's still the writer and producer on the film. He's just left as director. He's still Batman too. But if I were to guess, Warner Brothers wanted Ben Affleck to direct it in a way that Ben Affleck just didn't want to direct it. He says, "No, you got to do something like this. You got to do something like this." And Ben Affleck's like, "No, I'm not doing that. This is Batman. I'm playing Batman. This is one of my child actors. I have a freaking Batcave in my home. I'm not doing this." So eventually, Ben Affleck looks like he says, like, you know what? I'm not dealing. We're gonna get someone else. We're gonna get a good. I hope they get a good. They better get someone good because they need all the help they can get at this point. Because every time we see this happen, Warner Brothers loses more. I mean, granted, they're Warner Brothers. Never gonna lose 100% credit. Probably not even gonna lose 50% credit. As long as they pull out. I mean, Skull Island looks like it's gonna be great. They got the Harry Potter Fantastic Beasts franchise and stuff. They're overall okay with their credit where most things are considered. But when it comes to DC, their street cred right now is way. I mean, let's put a street cred at a 1 to 100 scale. Right now, the street cred's probably about a 30, maybe a 40, because most people like Batman. There's enough enjoyment that can be had at Suicide Squad that some people give it a pass, and some people like BVS, and a lot of people like Man of Steel. And Wonder Woman looks like it's going to be good. We don't know, but I think it's going to be good. Most people think it's going to be good. So right now, I'd put their street cred between their anticipation for people like Wonder Woman or movies like Wonder Woman and what they have going on so far. It's maybe at the low 30s to low, maybe in the 30s to low 40s right now. The street cred's not good when it comes to DC movies, and this drops it. This right now drops the street cred even more. The more Warner Brothers does this, the more the more that the fans' faith in them decreases. When you see, and they don't seem to understand that they need to not meddle in certain affairs. They need to stop. They need to pull back and let someone guide the ship. And they just don't seem to understand that too many cooks in the kitchen will cause a freaking kitchen fire. Will cause a grease fire. And right now, we've got the makings of a grease fire, and it's not 100% yet, because we got to see how Wonder Woman and Justice League do. If Wonder Woman and Justice League do well, then they reclaim some of that. If they're able to have both of those be successful and overall liked, then there is slightly they can take at least a breath and go like, okay, we got through that. Let's focus on what's next. But if even one of those movies, but here's the thing. If Justice League bombs, honestly, between the two, I'd say Justice League's the one that's more likely to bomb because, well, first off, Zack Snyder's returning again, and it's kind of the Michael Bay thing where you can get franchise fatigue. But there's so many characters and story going on in that movie probably that it's very possible that is the movie that could just be the dumpster fire. Wonder Woman, I feel, is not going to be a dumpster. I feel because you have a different director on there, you have a story that's set really apart from the rest of the DCU. It's a period piece. That it stands the best chance of really making a mark and doing well. So I have good hopes for Wonder Woman. But if one of those movies bombs hard, but if the other one does really well, and let's say it's Wonder Woman that does well and Justice League bombs, then they're still going to be in a bad place. And let's be clear, BVS and when I say bomb, I mean like critically fan reception not good. But if they still make it, because BVS and Suicide Squad still make gobs of money. if Wonder Woman is the one that does well fan wise and does well financially, let's say they both do well financially, but does well fan wise, and Justice League's the one that does bad critically, they'll be roughly in the same spot, maybe at least a little better because they at least knocked Wonder Woman out of the park. If it's the opposite, if Justice League is done really well, well, first off, Justice League is done really well, I think all of us will be like, yes, they did Justice League well. But if they fuck up Wonder Woman, a character that should have been brought to the big screen at least 10 years ago. Well, okay, man, not that long, but like before 2010. Wonder Woman should have been on the big screen before 2010. If they screw up on Wonder Woman, DC is going to have to start hitting the panic button and possibly think of resetting the universe. And I don't want to. First off, I like Ben Affleck's Batman. Ben Affleck is a good Batman. I think he's probably one of my favorite Batman, in terms of live action ones anyway. I don't know. DC is just, I don't know why DC can't get their crap together. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot. It's tough. It's tough to deal with that as a fan, but I'm not going to severely panic until I see how Wonder Woman and Justice League fare out, and until I hear what else is going on with the Batman movie and stuff like that. I'm not going to put the panic button until then, because we got to get through 2017 to see how DC's are really going to fare out in their universe, because you're not going to just pull the plug on Justice League. If Wonder Woman kind of bombs or does badly or that, you can't just pull the plug on Justice League. Justice League's coming out. So after 2017 or near the end of 2017, we'll have a better understanding where DC Warner Brothers is right now. But if you're asking me how the Ben Affleck not directing Batman news, what I think about that, I do not like that. Because that's just, I mean, it's not the. It's probably the biggest concern that's happened honestly in the DCU so far. The Flash thing, that's fine. Trouble happens in movies all the time. You're gonna push it back because you're just not where you want to be yet. But with Ben Affleck, when they announced him as Batman, we assumed he was going to direct a DC movie and it was going to be the standalone Batman movie. Everyone's been hoping about that for 3 years. Everyone's been like, yeah, he's going to direct Batman. It's going to be awesome. Woo, yeah. And then this happens. He's not directing it anymore. It just, I mean, I don't want to say dark times for DC fans yet, or comic fans in general. But hold your expectations for time being. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride going forward. But anyway, yeah, this was just the video I kind of wanted to talk about because it was of the movie news that popped out. That's the one I wanted to talk about. And I saw the Beauty and Beast trailer, the newest, final one. That puts a giant smile on my face anytime I watch it. I'm just like, oh my god, this feels so magical. I need to find a date to take that to. Yeah, maybe I really should get back in the dating world a bit and be like, this would be a great date movie. So come on, does anyone want to go out? I'm so alone. Anyway, yeah. But that's my thoughts on the Ben Affleck leaving the Batman. The directing, mind you. He's still cast as Batman. He's still starring, producing, writing, all that. So he's still pretty much Batman, but he's not directing it anymore. And yeah, that's not good. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you'd like us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Be back tomorrow with Who Would Win. That'll be up before I go to work. Let me double check the show time, because I had last I checked there was no screen times for either of the two major releases coming out this week, but on Thursday. But that could possibly change as of like tomorrow or something. So as it stands, okay, there. All right, there are the screenings for both of them. Well, it's gonna be either Rings or The Space Between Us. Mark said Rings, and I said, we'll see, because both are probably going to be bad. Rings is probably going to be a lot of stupid imagery and creepy imagery and jump scares, and The Space Between Us is, I don't know, is it going to be young adult? It's going to be a young adult movie. So they both have a 7 o'clock showing, but Rings has a 9:40 as opposed to Space Between Us is 10 o'clock. So we'll see. I'll maybe even flip a coin on it. It depends when I get out of work. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And besides that, I have no other plans besides box office at the end of the week. After that, though, starting next week, it's the usual schedule of what ifs and everything in between. So if you have an idea for who would win, what if, Star Wars, superhero, magic video, anything I do on the channel, please put that in the comments below. I do take requests, and I do usually get to them at some point. But anyway, thanks for watching.